What up, world? It's your boy Jaystar back again, man, with the full slate, man, of the championship round for the playoffs here, man. This is gonna be a great weekend, I think, of games, man. It's just a lot of what I want to say elite offenses. Like I feel like for the first time, like I want to say that we had just both sides elite offenses. I would say three of these defenses are actually pretty tough and everything, but Cincinnati being the last one, if I would say like it's probably the last of the toughest ones. Kansas City is probably one of the weakest ones here, but looking into both of these games, just first looking at everything, let's see. I'm gonna just go to each game by itself. We got San Francisco and Philadelphia Eagles here, so it's looking like what is it supposed to be here? Believe the 49ers is supposedly only giving up 16.6 points to quarterback, running backs about 16 points, wide receivers 42.7, tight end 11, and so defenses 4.2. And then the Eagles is 19.4 to quarterback, running backs 21.8, wide receiver 32.3, and tight end 11.2. Defense is 5.4. So it's looking like to me, I mean, you can combine the running back 16 and the quarterback 16 points for Jalen Hurts, which basically puts him at about 32 points because he's running almost 10 times a game. As you go look over here, you're looking at 9 attempts, 17, 7. Like he's just like getting half of attempts of a running back, plus being able to throw the ball. Basically, I mean, if he's in the goal line and he takes off running, it's probably guaranteed a touchdown most of the time. He's just too strong. He just has so many weapons out there that you have to be, paying attention to, and it just makes it like an easy goal line rushing touchdown for him. And that doesn't even take in note that sometimes he rushes some for even farther than being at the goal line or red zone when he runs in the ball for a touchdown. So those two things, man, means like this is running back one and quarterback one all at the same time. So definitely, like I said, I think the points could be combined there for 32 points, and if that's the case, he's probably will be one of the best quarterbacks on this. I want to say slate right here. Brock Purdy on the other side. I mean, it's more points, for the Eagles is giving up to quarterback. I just think the defense is going to be really, really tough, man. We seen his first time going against a tough defense finally, and we saw the outcome of the numbers that we see. Like before it was Seattle, Arizona, Vegas, Washington. Basically, all these teams, man, that he's played, is like it's not hard to be able to run the ball on them. Which also sets up, everything that the San Francisco wants to do. So once you're able to run the ball, the way they want to run the ball, it opens up, a Uke and Debo getting open in the backfield, or even somebody like a Kittle, because all it does is they come on. They don't really run a lot of crazy routes and get people open. They usually just block and come off of blocks or block all the time, kind of, and setting up the run. And eventually they just play action off of that, or roll out off of that. So and then it's just, you're so used to those receivers blocking every time when they finally go out and run a post route or a slant route, they're wide open because you just wasn't, ready for them. You thinking it's a run as always. So that's why once know they're going to establish the run, it opens up easy opportunities for a 2 touchdown game, as you've seen for Brock Purdy over and over and over, and even possible if he has to do 3, he can do that too, as long as that run is going to be established. So if that's what you think is going to happen here, then he's definitely in for a decent game for him. Besides that, when I look at the running backs on this side, yes, McCaffrey is going to be in play. Elijah Mitchell, being that he's injured with a groin injury, I don't really know for sure if he's going to really be a viable play here. I mean, I think it'll probably be they'll lean a lot heavier on McCaffrey, being that this is the game to go to the Super Bowl. Miles Sanders, is a hit and miss type of player. If he gets the goal line rushing touchdown, then perfect. He did come with almost close to 100 yards. So they do lean on him, but they do also lean on a lot of other running backs after that once they get to the goal line. So yeah, just going down the field, yes, it's usually Miles Sanders and of course Jalen Hurts. But once they get to the goal line, you got a mixture of all three of them, and then plus Jalen Hurts. So it's kind of hard to, like, so I say, like, it's a hit and miss with Miles Sanders. When it comes to the wide receivers here, though, the wide receiver points is so high for San Francisco, and we've seen as of lately they've just been giving up to the number one receiver. So I'm thinking in this game, this is going to be pretty easy, I feel like, for Philly to establish A.J. Brown. and it looks like hip isn't on the injury report anymore. So like he's ready to go. Devontae Smith gonna be ready to go. This is to me is gonna be. I just don't see Hurts having really a hard time. Like I really don't, just because they've been having a hard time with Geno with just Metcalf. AJ Brown is like a Metcalf, so. And then it's like you go to the next game, they go play the Cowboys and they play a CD Lamb, and Devontae Smith is a CD Lamb. So this team has two of those type of receivers that we just seen go off on it. I just feel like then it's out of one of them for sure is going off, or they both are going off in this game. And then on the other side, excuse me, yeah. But on the other side, we got Debo Samuel and a Uke Jennings. I don't really see too much below like down here that I really would want in this game, but definitely I think a Uke with the savings. I think Ayuk is probably going to be the person that gets open because he tends to run more routes than Debo. Like I said, it's more slant route run, and people have been kind of stopping that lately. And we know he can still break free and get open or something like that, or break a big run. Still, it's all still possible. But he is questionable. I think he is playing hurt. But Ayuk is probably going to be who they're going to have to lean on, of course, with McCaffrey's and maybe a little bit more Kittle maybe has to get used because Debo is hurt. Like, and even their running backs, like what they like to use, all their running back game here from Debo to all the running backs here are all hurt. They're gonna have to lean on something different, and I feel like Ayuk, maybe a little bit of Jennings does come in play, but I think Ayuk has been their highest targeted receiver period. Anyways, I just see them trying to make plays for him. He's a good yards after the catch player anyway. Same for Kittle. I feel like they could possibly lean more there as well. But Goddard is also going to be a good play. I mean, they're, what I want to say, San Francisco's mid-pack team against the tight end anyways. And we know Goddard gets his normal amount of targets every game. He's always a part of the game plan. 5, 7, 6. I mean, that's possibly another 16. We seen, what I want to say, Schultz just put up 16 against them. So it's there, it's definitely there for him to get another 16 to 13 fantasy points. I feel like, besides that, I think that's about it from this game. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next game here. Let's see what we got. So we got the Bengals in Kansas City here. Looks like Mahomes was able to fully practice, so that's a great sign there. Both of these quarterbacks is in for a pretty big game, I feel like. But Mahomes, I feel like, has a tougher matchup compared to Burrow. I feel like it's a lot easier for him to get to whatever he wants to do, really. When it comes to the running backs here, I feel like they're going to have to use Jared McKinnon more. But the only thing is, it's all going to depend on how healthy can Pat Mahomes stay in this game. Like, does he get hit and tweak his ankle again or something like that? Because that's going to suck. Because soon as his ankle did get hurt and he did actually come back in the game, McKinnon was only in really to block. He rarely ran his routes that he usually runs out the backfield. He didn't even really run. Pacheco was only in, when he was in, he was always just running. So, like, it was like nothing else. Like, anytime he was in, he was going to run. He never blocked. Unlike McKinnon, he's like the safety net blocker to help make sure Pat Mahomes is untouched. So it's all going to depend on if Mahomes is going to be really healthy and not get tweaked. Because if he doesn't get tweaked, then I think Jared McKinnon can end up having a big game here because it's going to be a little bit tough for Kansas City. I feel that even though the last time they played each other, they didn't have a few weapons. So but on the other side here with the running game, I feel like it's going to be pretty easy because it's all about, a team being able to get complete first downs, get to the goal line multiple times. And I definitely feel that Burrow's going to be able to complete the first downs. Definitely going to get to the goal line multiple times. And I feel like any one of these running backs from Joe Mixon to Samaje Perine are both in play, basically. Both are in play. They could just put up so many points in this game that both of these running backs both score, really. So I definitely feel like these running backs are definitely higher in play than even the ones over here for Kansas City. Kansas City is just such a passing team. Like, the best one to me would be McKinnon because he can catch, but it's all, like I said, depends on Pat Mahomes' health. But then on the receiver end and everything, everything runs through Chase over here from Cincinnati. If you believe Chase is going to be able to go and be able to do his, do what he do easily to Kansas City, then best believe Boyd and a Hurst or even a T. Higgins can also get going as well. Because once they establish that Chase is unstoppable, after that, it's nobody they're going to be able to stop. So a Boyd is going to be a good play, and then as well as like Hurst, even T. Higgins, they do like to take big shots to T. Higgins. Once Chase has got going, they kind of distribute the ball kind of equally to Boyd, to Hurst, but then they take deep shots still with T Higgins, so he can hit off about 2 plays if it has to come to that. And then on the other side here, though, Juju, he's cool and everything, but he does have the hardest matchup, I feel like, from cornerbacks. Going against Hilton, who's become one of their best cornerbacks for Cincinnati. So I think he would just have the toughest matchup period, in the game. And I don't know if he's going to get the amount of targets that needed to even be able to go off. So I think it would be somebody like a MVS Tony. And like I said, they didn't even have Hardman the last time they played. I believe it was 2 receivers. Let me just see. Oh, well, I do know exactly what it is. Hardman wasn't there the first time they just played. And then also Tony wasn't, on the team yet. So he didn't get to play that game either. So it's going to be a different, what I want to say, like offensive strategy that they probably haven't seen, from Kansas City this time when Cincinnati plays them, because they didn't get to see how they would use Tony, and they didn't have to go against Tony. They didn't have to go against a Hardman. And I feel like those two could change, the game at least a little bit. It was kind of a lot of forced targets to MVS because he didn't have nothing else. So they forced the deep shots to MVS. I feel like, could be some shots at Tony, could be some deep shots to Hardman. I think those two things can change the game. And of course, we already know they're going to go to Kelsey. Like, we know they're going to go to Kelsey as much as possible, because the first time they played this year, they just completely took Kelsey out the game because of the fact that they didn't have no other weapons. So as you go back and look at this, Cincinnati right here, he had, six targets or whatever, and only had 8 points. I definitely don't think that's going to happen again. I can see Kelsey getting to like 20, 23 points possibly. But I feel that Cincinnati's biggest game plan is going to be to stop Kelsey. Like, coming off of a 17 target, 98 yards, and 2 touchdowns, like, their biggest focus is going to be to make sure they stop Kelsey and make the others beat them. Like, that's how I really think that's how they're going to play him. So I definitely still think, Kelsey's a good player. Just that I do know that that's going to be their biggest focus, is to try to stop Kelsey and make some of these other players like they did the first time, and it worked. So I see them doing that same type of strategy again, even though I think Kansas City did start off with the lead in that game, and then Cincinnati was able to come back and beat them. But that was their whole strategy, was to shut down Kelsey as much as they could, at least, And I definitely think, I think Pat Mahomes is not going to let them do that this time. They probably will start off heavily going to Kelsey because they want to get him going early. But that is still going to be an adjustment I think Cincinnati is going to make sure they take him out the game afterwards. Maybe he gets going early. I just don't know how many points he ends up getting to, because I think early is the best way to start going to him, and not waiting, while Cincinnati is trying their hardest to stop him. You need to get him going right away. And because if they get Kelsey going right away, it opens up, the McKinnons, it opens up, I want to say, all the other little players here too as well. So definitely need to get him going on that side. So, man, after knowing all this, now, like, going through all these games and things like that, just getting my first look at this and thinking of how I want to play this, I just feel that I think I really want Jalen Hurts or Burrow for sure at quarterback this week, but I think I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts. I just feel that the stacks with him is just kind of really simple and easy, and I kind of want to double stack this. I want to double stack his receivers, just because, like I just explained, like, they just went through these 2 different type of receivers, exactly to what AJ Brown and what Devontae Smith is. Like, route runner, which is just like CeeDee Lamb, kind of moves around in the slot too as well, just like CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Smith. Then you get AJ Brown, who is just freaking Metcalf. I feel like, 2.0 or whatever you want to call it, 1.0. Like, they're the same. Like, so it's just, I feel like AJ Brown could be possibly even better than Metcalf, really. So, yeah, but they just gave up like near 30 points fantasy to both of those 2 type of receivers. So if that's going to happen again, and my thing is, if you can't stop one of these players, you're probably not even stopping the other one anyways. So, and like I said, they haven't went against 2 receivers that was just on par with a Metcalf and CeeDee Lamb. They didn't go against that this whole playoffs. And now they're about to go against something that tough, which I know now that the 49ers' whole goal was to stop Pollard in the first game. Come to realize, like, their whole biggest objective is to stop the run game for every team, because that's how their team runs on. Like, if they're able to run with McCaffrey, then everything works for them. But, I mean, so their whole biggest goal is going to be to stop Jalen Hurts from running. and they're going to use, both their great linebackers and everything to try to spy on him. But it's still, we have yet to see him be stopped when he runs the ball. And my thing is, I feel like the Eagles are going to try to come out and bomb on them because they have seen that, you can't really run on them, right? You can't run with your running backs on them. I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts is not going to be able to run. I think he will be able to run. So the whole thing is, though, we've seen that you can air attack them, though, and they have two weapons just to do that with. So I really feel like they're going to go hard at trying to establish the air attack. And when they know once they can establish that, they're going to go run with Jalen Hurts. Like, he's going to run the ball, and then they're going to go back to the air attack again. And it's just, I don't think that's going to be stopped. So that's why I really like that. When it comes to the running backs here, man, I'm thinking, let's see. I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and take McCaffrey. I'm gonna take McCaffrey because I just know that even if they're air attacking them, I don't think they're gonna go away from McCaffrey. I mean, we've seen he gets targeted. What do I want to say? 8 targets right here last game. Only 2 the first one in the playoffs, but he had 15 touches. I feel that the Eagles' strategy is going to be to try to get up like they usually start off pretty hot. Especially second quarter. We know how many points they put up. A lot of points in the second quarter. Their whole objective is going to be to get up big and make San Francisco not want to run the ball. So they're going to probably have to pass, dump, catches to McCaffrey. I know he's still going to be able to run a little bit, but I feel like it's going to be a lot more dumps to him, and that's the only reason why I feel like he's still going to be the best play to me when it comes to running backs. Just because I don't see him being completely taken out the game, but that's what Philly is going to want to do. They want him. They don't think they probably can really stop him completely, but they do think we can take him out the game if we just be able to get up big and then make 49ers have to throw. So since I do think the 49ers will be throwing a little bit more here, it makes me want to take somebody like a Ayuk. I think I want to take a Ayuk here. Just to go along with McCaffrey here, or maybe not. Let's see. We'll see how this lineup end up coming up. But he coming to be here. Let's see. So when it comes to tight ends, I don't mind taking Hurst again. I mean, he played really good the last game. I like the way they was moving the ball around, and I do feel like they won't be able to really stop. What do I want to say? Chase. So, and then for just a cheap running back, like I told y'all, both running backs I felt could do good in this game. So I'm gonna go with Samaje Perine right here, and let's see. So what we got? I'm gonna just take the cheapest defense, and we got 6,800 here. Man, I could go with both running backs, but I'm probably gonna go ahead and adjust my Ayuk play here. Then I'm gonna adjust the Ayuk play here, and I'm gonna go ahead first and take. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and take Chase and my flex there, like I said, because I do feel like he's going to be unstoppable. I don't think they have nothing but rookies all across the field. And I just feel like, you're going against a second-time elite receiver who just went to the Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to be able to stop him with no rookies. So, and once, like I said, once he gets going, it opens up a Boyd or Hurst, and then I would say the big plays to even T. Higgins. So, now, though, that we're here, MVS or Hardman, I don't really mind either one of them, really. So I'm going to just go ahead and take the MVS. He should have even an easier opportunity than he had the first time. He was able to do decent the first time. So as you go look at here, I believe he had 15 points the first time. Or what do you have? 9 points? My bad. 9 points the first time. But like I said, he was just the main target. He still put up 71 yards on him, almost 100 yards on him. And he was the main focal point in that game. And there was nothing else there, especially since Kelsey was taken away. They didn't have all the receivers. I feel that in this game he possibly could do very good and get 100 yards, and maybe possibly a touchdown. We seen I want to say, what's the name, Eli Apple. He's quick to what is the play that they do a lot to him? Oh my God, I don't know why I can't remember right now, but he jumps the double move. That's what it is. He jumps the double move a lot. So I know for sure, MVS can definitely do a double move and go, and I believe he can get that big play, maybe 60-yard touchdown on them. So I'm going to go ahead and take MVS since I could take Hardman. I don't mind even switching off and taking Hardman. Just want to confirm to make sure he's going to play though first. So for now though, I like this lineup as it is right here. So this is it, man, for the first look, man, for me, y'all. Like I said, I'm really going probably fly Eagles fly right here, man, because I just don't see them being able to stop this whole air attack that they have for the 49ers. Like, I think all year long they haven't really been tested. The cornerbacks on the 49ers been playing some pretty, subpar talent, I want to say, when it comes to quarterbacks and wide receivers. But when they have played quarterbacks that have been able to run, they haven't done too well against those quarterbacks. You go look at Mariota they played. He was able to run a touchdown in, throw 2 touchdowns. And I believe, I can't remember who's the other quarterback they played. I don't know if it was, Chicago was a rainstorm and everything, but Fields was able to run on them like crazy. So, and he threw a touchdown still too as well. Like, that's what I'm saying. They haven't really done too well against these type of quarterbacks. They haven't figured out how to stop this. So that's why I really like Jalen Hurts this weekend. But it's your boy Jaystar, man. Stay tuned for the showdowns, man, and good luck. Your boy Jaystar, I'm out. Peace.